All right, guys. My name is Elisa. We're on AltScene Speaks. I have TV Buddha. If I could just have you guys introduce
Hi, my name's Eli Schmidt, and I play drums in TV Buddha.
I am Johnson Rockstar. I play guitar and sing.
Johnson Rockstar.
It's true.
That's fucking awesome. Johnson is a rock star, everybody.
It's my name.
So, where are you guys from?
We're from Chicago. Mhm.
Yes. Well,
Originally,
I'm from Southern California. Eli's from
yeah,
Indianapolis.
but we both live in Chicago now together.
What part of Chicago?
We live in Logan Square together. Just like it's on the boulevard. We got a little porch swing in the front, a little fire pit.
Yeah, our landlord Lou is downstairs.
Yeah,
She's chill
yeah.
usually.
What goes on that side of Chicago? Like, what is it known for? If you were to tell people who are unfamiliar.
Mm.
I'd say Logan Square is one of the areas where there's. It's kind of an area where there's lots of like quote unquote hip things around. There's like a good amount of venues and stuff. So it feels nice to be close to all of that, which is really accessible. But what I think we'll be moving down further south probably this summer,
Mhm.
when we moving with like another friend of ours who's moving to Chicago. And a lot of our friends are down there now. It's just will be more affordable.
Yeah,
But there's also like lots of great DIY stuff happening on the south side right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I love a DIY scene. I feel like that's the majority of New Orleans. Majority of New Orleans is a DIY
Mhm.
scene. So you said that you're from Southern California. You're from
Yeah.
Indianapolis. What drew y'all to Chicago, and what's been your favorite thing so far?
Mm. I feel like Chicago. I came to Chicago first for school, and I went to DePaul for art history. But the first thing that drew me to Chicago was like the jazz scene there. There's a really wonderful label called International Anthem that I was really obsessed with in high school, and I just knew I wanted to be part of music in some case, but I didn't really know anything about DIY music or rock or indie rock or any of those things. So that's what attracted me first.
And my mom is from Chicago, so I grew up visiting. I always loved just like the city feel, and the music scene, and my mom's stories of
Hmm.
when she lived in the city, in her early 20s and going to shows there. Um, and I just became a fan of some of the bands that were like in the scene at the time, including one that Eli was a part of. And so I spent a summer there, like while I was in college, um, and just like kind of fell in love with the city. I knew that's where I needed to be.
Do y'all like deli shops down there? Is that like a thing? Deli
No, we
shops?
don't have any of those.
You
I
don't have a
wish.
single deli shop?
No, well, it's not really
It's
like
not like New York.
no, or like there's not like there's no like corner stores that have like food in them really.
Okay.
Like it's a really like a city like run by kind of gas stations,
Hmm.
or and things are pretty spread out. Or there's like places that try to be like delis, but it's like pretty expensive and like not very tasty at all.
Do you guys have like a spot that everybody goes to?
Mm.
I mean, there's certain bars obviously that people gravitate towards to hang out at, and in terms of like shows, like the DIY scenes, as with any DIY scene, it's always in flux of like which venues are active versus closing or
Yeah.
opening. Um, for a while, like this past fall, there was a time where it felt like a lot of the DIY stuff had kind of been shutting down, just due to like for whatever reason. But right now, it feels like it's kind of expanding again, which is really
Yeah.
awesome. There's a new spot called Lowdown, that's been hosting great shows, and our friends Jason and Max host awesome shows at their house. Um, and yeah, we both love throwing DIY shows, and
Mhm.
so that's what.
When and what was your first DIY show? Was it TV Buddha or was it like an earlier iteration?
I guess the first show that I ever booked, there's a spot in Chicago called the Attic,
Oh, cool.
and I had a couple friends that went to the School of the Art Institute that were throwing shows there, and I threw a show there. It was kind of like an all electronic experimental show, um, and there was like some like analog krautrock and some like IDM music, and that was the first show I ever threw.
Nice.
I first started going to DIY shows and booking shows when I lived in Austin, Texas. So I went to school, and the first show I ever went to was in a warehouse by the airport in Austin, and it was Blank Hellscape, Chronophage, and Fleshnark from Denton, and that show kind of changed my life, and those bands were all super impactful on me. And the the first show I ever booked was a couple years later in Austin, and it was actually the first show kind of like post COVID in the city. It was at one of the co-ops there, which are these crazy places where just like all these kids
Yeah.
live, and there's kind of like it's
Just,
kind of
like,
like the Wild
parties. They're
West.
just,
It's
like-
like there's no
Yeah.
rules there.
Did you say coyotes?
Oh my gosh.
They're
It'd be
like
awesome if there were
coyotes.
coyotes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
They
They
like
have, like-
pull up their mask and they're
Yeah.
like,
They have like coyote farms. in
Yeah.
the co-ops.
No, but it was just like it was this show at this place called 21st Street Co-op. It was like a 5-band bill. It was a fundraiser for like this organization in Austin that provides healthcare to Austin musicians, and it was super fun. And like we were able to raise a ton of money to both pay the bands as well as to donate to the organization, which is super rewarding. But then apparently some people got COVID from it, so
oh.
it wasn't great.
that would happen.
Everything
Um,
has the both sides to
It's a
it.
give and take.
It's a give and take.
Yin yang.
Yeah.
So did you guys stop by any South by Southwest things that were going on when y'all came
Yeah.
through from
We-
Austin?
that's where we just came from. We just did like 4 days in Austin for South by. And we did about like 10 shows while we were there,
Shit.
which was really fun. It was a lot. Like I kind of was not really prepared for how like taxing that would be on my body. Some of the shows were really fun. Like we played at one of the co-ops, and we played at this place called Tweeties with a bunch of our friends, like Good Flying Birds and Touch Apple Blossom. We're actually like playing here tonight, not too far away.
Tonight?
Yeah,
After
tonight.
Not this show though.
Oh,
No, not tonight at this show, but like
Tonight, as in
like
in
a
the
mile
city.
away.
Oh
They're playing,
shit! So
yeah.
like when y'all are done here, y'all are gonna pack up and go to the next show.
Well, we're not playing.
We're not playing
with
their
them,
show.
but maybe we'll grab a pint with them or
Yeah.
something.
Oh dang.
Yeah. It's kind of a bunch of this tour that we're on right now, we're doing at the same time as them. So a bunch of the shows are the same nights.
Yeah, because we're on tour with our friends Parking from Louisville and Guyscrapers from New York. So it's
Yeah.
already like a 3 touring band bill. Didn't make sense to combine with 2
You can't
other
have
touring
5
bands. Otherwise,
It's
it'd be
insane that
that'd be a
there's
festival
3.
every
There's
night.
already 3 is
Yeah.
already a lot.
We already know, and we know another band on tour from New York that's playing tonight in New Orleans, called Blood Sports, and apparently Wednesday's also playing tonight.
Wednesday's playing tonight.
That's
here?
what I was told.
Who told you that?
Someone.
So
no.
how many stops have y'all made since y'all started tour?
Let's see. We're about a little bit over a week into it. This is
Mhm.
maybe like our 8th city or something, or maybe less because we were in Austin for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe like 6th or 7th city.
Yeah.
We did Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville, Nashville, Memphis, Denton, Austin, and then New
Yeah.
Orleans. So this is
Yeah.
number 8.
It's all been really different. Some of the shows have been really great. We also played at like a cafe in the middle of the afternoon, and like the only person that was like actually enjoyed it was like this little girl, and she was like 5, and like her mom came up and was like, "Oh, it's her birthday. Can you sing her happy birthday?" And we did that, and then she cried and ran away.
No.
So she didn't like that part, but I guess she liked our songs, which was maybe kind of sweet.
So what made New Orleans a stop that you guys wanted to make?
Well, I've never been here before, and just have always, heard so much about this city. It has such this like kind of like romantic ideal. I feel like in the American lexicon, and there's a place that we knew like we had to come to.
It's just like one of the coolest cities in the country. I think it's like one of the prettiest cities. The people are just like really, really nice. I think like I just like I've been here a couple times, but not in a long time, and I'm just like always excited every time I get to come here.
Well, that's really nice to hear. I think that New Orleans, especially in like the indie alternative scene throughout the country, we kind of get like overlooked.
Yeah.
So
sure.
it's nice to see more out of town bands get interested in this city, because I personally believe that we have some of the best fucking bands here.
Yeah.
And to your point, some of the best, just genuinely good people.
Yeah.
So I like that the word is spreading that this is a hot spot actually, and y'all need to get down into New Orleans.
It's true. Well, yeah.
Oh.
Everyone needs to get down here.
Agree.
I'm sure it just kind of gets like overshadowed by like the jazz, and like
Yes, that's
like
exactly it.
the history of that is like looms so large of things. I'm sure it's kind of like it's hard to like break out of that kind
Yeah.
of like assumptions.
No, that's totally real. I do think that New Orleans is pigeonholed by jazz, and I mean, jazz is obviously so culturally significant, but at the same time, that's not all that we are. I think
Yeah.
that there's so many different like factions in this city that
No,
offer.
every city's a multitude
Totally.
of it, you know.
What is some of the food that y'all have had here since y'all came to the city?
I've had a couple po' boys. I've had a catfish one. I've had a shrimp one. I've had a crawfish pie. I had catfish and grits for breakfast. Um, I feel like that's everything I've eaten so far.
Eating better than me.
Yeah, about the same. We got po' boy at Hank's. Not
Yeah,
too far.
that's like
so good.
that's
There's a
what,
spot.
like all the bands like to go, like either like before or after. It's usually like an after show
Yeah.
thing. Go to Hank's.
Yeah.
It's like your po' boys, grab a beer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Couldn't recommend enough.
nice. So you said that y'all are going to Mississippi after this?
Mhm.
Nice.
Or actually, Alabama. We're going to Birmingham.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how many more stops until you go home?
We have about 2 more weeks or a little bit less. So we go through the South,
Yeah.
Birmingham, Athens, and then we're in North Carolina for a festival that Eli helps run for 4 days. And then from there, we go up the East Coast, like Richmond, Baltimore, Philly, and then we end in New York with some of our friends for this record release show,
Yeah.
another compilation that Eli helped put out.
Talk about that.
Okay. So the show in North Carolina is part of this thing called the Big Pop Fest, which is like it's a youth run like music festival that's going on for 4 days this coming weekend. And it's like mostly youth bands, but also like older artists from like across the South and Midwest, and kind of this thing that I've always kind of thought as like a music convention for people. Just because I think it's so important to like have this kind of space where it's like everyone's in the same place at once, and it's not just like a one night thing, but it's like kind of building this like um, countrywide like solidarity of like a network that people can rely on. Um, and so this is like the second year that that's going on. So we're gonna play that on Friday, and then I put together a compilation of like Chicago bands from the last 5 years, and it got pressed on vinyl.
Nice.
And the record label is in New York, so we're gonna do a release show there, in on the 28th because the record comes out tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's like huge.
Thanks.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've never worked on anything longer than this record, and it feels really like meaningful to finally like have it like kind of come to light. I haven't seen it in my hands yet, but I'm really excited.
But when you do,
Oh.
oh my God, the
Everyone's gotta
earth
stand
will quake.
Back.
Well, all right. Is there anything that you would like to put out there? Any last words before we wrap up and catch Guyscrapers? Because I'm itching to see them. I'm not gonna lie.
No, not at all. No, just thank you so much for sitting down with us and talking.
My
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Don't let the corporate order get you down. Youth Revolution now. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I love that. You heard it here.
Let's go watch Skyscrapers.
Yeah. Woo! Thank you. That was awesome.
Guys, I broke the earring.
No.
No fucking way.
I fidgeted too much.
Kwama.
Now it's-